everyone and welcome back to Bardsung. We're working our way through chapter 4, and because of the result last time, which if you don't want to hear and haven't watched yet, go watch before I finish this sentence, we finished 4A by finding the hidden passage, which means we go from 4A straight to 4E. So we're not doing B, C or D. All going well, we're going to do E, F, and then the finale is G. So this is a standard delve where we're going from the bottom edge to the top edge of the table. However, unlike if we'd gone to 4B, this has 2 treasure chests on it. And I've decided to put, you always have to start with the top right one because it's the most northern. After that it's a little vague. I want to see more loot, so I'm putting it down here as opposed to the opposite corner, so that we can hopefully kind of snake our way through both of them and maybe get some more loot. Because up until now we've only had the one bit of loot, which is the steadfast gem that Forge Warden has. We got it by the skin of our teeth last time, barely able to survive. It doesn't help that I did misread slightly the corpse exploding event we had. I thought it was on turn end, it ticks over, but it's on kills, so the very last time a corpse exploded it shouldn't have happened. But either way, it was a very, very rough fight. The zombie enemies are not joking around, neither are the new events that have been mixed into the decks. So with that in mind, we're going to begin our normal delve and see how it goes, being a bit more cautious than before. Alright, I've zoomed this in a little bit. Forge Warden, Nightfeather, Firesoul is the order in which I'm going with for the marching order, which I know you can just about see at the bottom there. Now the other thing to mention is if we successfully do this, we're going to get 1 more XP. Not really relevant for Forge Warden or Nightfeather, but that will give Firesoul enough that I want to spend the full 5 to upgrade configuration. Either way, Forge Warden is the one getting us started. He's going to go 1 and then have to do an explore action as his other action. We're drawing a corridor card, as we are of course in the starting room. Oh, dealer's choice, more or less. We've got 4 potential ways we can put this. I'm just obviously, it doesn't matter really, but we do get a challenge card. More importantly, that does mean we can start to do what I wanted to do, which is peel off to the right and then start going straight north. Alright, the tile is down. Forge Warden has to move into it. He's getting his defense buff for this turn, but it doesn't matter because we're just doing a question mark card. Mercy. I think this is one that was in before. Quiet groaning can be heard from the chamber ahead, which you soon see belongs to a villager clutching a bloody arm. Read narrative entry 73. Alright, well, 1 second, I'm going to have to look that out from the narrative deck. Oh, my bad, it does not mean the vault full of narrative cards. It means the adventure book. And I want you to read entry 73 from here, so apologies, I'll just get in position here. At first you think the villager is sitting down until the light reveals her to be a little girl, you guess. 10 at the altar. Oh no, this is going to be, she's going to zombify, isn't it? She smiles through her tears when she sees you. I'm Mercy, are you here to save me? I don't know where my parents are. She's being very brave and your heart melts. Treating the wound on her arm isn't straightforward, it's pretty deep and the skin is already discoloured around the wound, turning yellow. While you clean it as best you can, you ask her what did it. A rat ever so big, she holds her hands wide apart to show you. With funny eyes, all cold, it bit me, and then I kicked it, and then I ran and ran. She stops herself from crying before continuing. That happened after we got here. The greenies didn't tie my hands up like everyone else, so I ran away. Oh, she's a racist towards goblins. But it's scary in here, and I don't know the way out. You've done the best you can, but you recognise the wound all too well, especially after hearing her story. It's a zombie bite. Since when were the rats zombies? The rats are carrion rats, aren't they? It's a zombie bite. She might not turn if she's lucky. If she isn't, well, you're faced with a choice. If you want to lead Mercy away from the others and quietly end her suffering, read narrative in 69. If you'd rather wait and see if she recovers, read narrative entry 255. I mean, I don't think the rats in this dungeon are zombies. Yeah, they're not zombies. So and it said it was turning yellow, not green, which is traditional zombie colour after all. I'm going to wait and see what happens, which is 255. 255. This can only end well. You know what probably should be done, but you just can't bring yourself to do it. That's not my motivation at all. Don't assume things about me, game. No one could possibly be that cruel. Mercy doesn't look terribly steady on her feet, so you kneel and let her climb on your back. Oh no, she's going to bite you in the back. As you set off, you hear her quiet voice, thank you for saving me. Retrieve card C162 from the challenge aspect deck and shuffle it into the deck. Return the mercy card to the vault. So this card goes away forever. A new challenge card gets put in the deck, and then I'm going to have to shuffle the deck as well. So I'll do that, and then we're moving on to Nightfeather's turn. Alright, I'm sure we'll see no bad consequences from doing that. Nightfeather, he moves 3 per 1 action, so move action 1, 2, 3, and then he has to move here and can't do an explore. Fire Soul, 1, 2, 1, 2. Simple as that, and then we're just going to start a new turn with Forge Warden activating, not going to shuffle the marching order. He's going to go 1, 2, and then for his other action, pardon me, gent and lady, we're going to do an explore and find a room, and if it's a big enough room we might catch that treasure chest. That might be large enough, and it has combat of course, so I'll get this laid out and then we'll draw the event. Okay, got the fight set up. There is 2 zombie brigands and there's a lost... Oh sorry, no, there's 1 zombie brigand and 2 lost raiders. So we can look at their card because they're not zombies. And they have a rule called Flee, which hopefully I can bring into focus here, which they didn't have before, where if they begin their... defeat the enemy... Oop, I dropped the card. Defeat the enemy if it starts its turn on the same zone as an undead enemy. One of them is starting their turn on the same square as the zombie brigand. So if they activate before the zombie brigand, which is likely because the zombie brigand has slow, it'll just run away. The other one won't because it's on a different zone, but that one will. But either way, before I forget, we have a battle card to draw. Prehensile Grip. I think we saw this one before, didn't we? A hand reaches out of the gloom and snatches your ankle. Yes, we did. A dexterity check for Forge Warden, 13. That is not good enough. If they pass, discard the card. If they fail and rolled a 1, nope, they suffer a wound. No, they rolled an 11. This hero can't make move actions during their next turn. Okay, I'll put that over here to remind myself. So Forge Warden can't move during the turn that is about to begin, and I'm just gonna look away and shuffle. Again, remember the zombies have slow, so once they're placed in a marching order, they get put down 1 space. Nightfeather, oh, that was out of focus. Nightfeather, well, then it's Lost Raiders because the zombie brigands get slowed. Then Forge Warden and Fire Soul. Shouldn't be too bad. Well, we know as things stand that Raider is just running away. Oh, I understand now why it's a bad thing. If they run away, I guess you wouldn't get the gold for killing them. It's only 1 gold. Nightfeather's going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Actually, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you can. Oh yeah, sorry, and the treasure chest is here because it touched or covered the symbol. So it's on the Bardsung symbol of the square. And then he shall shank. He shall shank the zombie. Yes, he will. Is it a crit? Sorry, not the zombie. This is the Lost Raider who has disadvantage, so I should have rolled 2. But actually, do these ones have disadvantage as well? Yes, they do. Either way, 4+. It is indeed a crit, so it does, let's see, piercing strike. A crit is 2 wounds, so he killed that. And then the Lost Raiders activate. He's on the same square as a zombie, so he takes 1 look at it, screams like a little girl, and runs away. So at that point, they would be removed. I killed one of them though, and they are removed from the marching order, so presumably you still get the 1 gold. I'm not sure. This fight is surprisingly tame. There was a couple of circle enemies, meaning that if I'd had 4 characters there would have been a couple of extra enemies that are nastier. But as things stand, not too shabby. His turn is over, so he is allowed to move. He'll just move on to the loot, I guess, but I'll do that at the end of the fight. Then the zombie brigands activate. He's going to go devour... Oh, actually no, he would go after Nightfeather because he's higher up the order and they're equidistant. So that is a 10, but he gets +1 to this. He rolled a 20, technically. I don't know if you're allowed to count that as a crit if you roll a 19 and you get a +1 bonus to it. I think you have to naturally roll. Either way, Forge Warden goes in for the kill. Maybe. Against them that is a crit. So that's a crit on his Mechanica Strike is 1 wound and the Bardsung Fate symbol, so he's not dead yet. Fire Soul can just come in and chuck a fireball. Good enough. Rolls are on fire today. Didn't, pardon the pun, didn't crit, but Fireball still does 1 wound on a normal hit. Kills him, and combat ends already. That was a very smooth fight. We get 1 gold for the zombies being removed, which means we're up to 5. We need that cash to replenish our other potion, and what else did we use? Oh yeah, we used a campfire, didn't we? So we need, what, 14 to replenish that? Oof. Fight's over, so we get loot. There's a list, or you have to randomly select 6 loot cards for this chapter, because there's a potentiality to get 6. I'm going to take this one. Tome of War. What's this? An ancient tome filled with the secrets of both Warcraft and magic. This hero can purchase an ability during the maintenance phase without spending XP. Wow, I didn't say who was picking it up. I guess it was Nightfeather who ended their turn on it, so I'll give it to him. We don't spend it until the maintenance phase, which is, I guess that's the end of a turn, isn't it? But I'm going to save it till the end of the adventure. I think that's when you do maintenance, technically. So he can buy an ability for free. I'll probably hold on to that to look through his skills more closely. But we can end that round there. Is there an echo token? Nope. Thank goodness. We can carry on as normal. It did just occur to me that Forward Warden should not have been able to move, so we'll say he did Crusader Stride, because it just said you couldn't do movement actions. Crusader Stride is a move and an attack built into the attack. It costs Fate, but he got a crit, so that would have replenished Fate anyway, so it works out that nothing was wrong. Nightfeather, I didn't change the marching order, so Nightfeather is first. He's going to do an Explorer because he's at the door, and it's a corridor. Oh, it's a rare corridor with combat and a potential secret passage as well. Let's see, what would be the better way to position that? I guess if I do it that way though, it's going to take me further away from the treasure. If I do it this way, we'd have to take the secret passage to go the direction I want, which might not be so bad. It would cost us one of our tools. We have 3 again. I'm not sure. I'll think about it as I set up. Alright, this is going to get a little dangerous. There is one Lost Raider, then there is a Zombie Brigand, and then there is a Rotting Brute. The zombified version of the Brute enemy, whose card is here. They have advantage against physical. They're TN 14. They don't have a flip side though, so they don't have 2 wounds to die. And they have a rule called Swarm of Flies, where you make a TN 9 defense roll after you wound them, and if you fail you get pushed. They also attack the entire node for 1 damage plus push. So I've got all the cards here, and again, just take my word for it, because we're kind of zoomed in right now that I am looking away while shuffling, and then I shall tell you the order we end up with for the fight. However, also, because that's an end of turn, Nightfeather is going to make use of his Back to the Shadows rule, and walk back out the room, because he gets to move once at the end of a turn. Oh, actually, he's on the tile with an enemy though. It would get advantage, presumably. Or get an attack of opportunity, I should say. Actually, I'll just leave him there then. Alright, the order is Fire Soul, Zombie Brigand, but that would go down 1. So it's Forge Warden, then the Zombie Brigand, then the Lost Raider, then Nightfeather, and the Brute is last. Apt, because he is lumbering and slow. Alright, Fire Soul's going to have to move. Yeah, she'll just move in here and chuck a fireball at the zombie's going before the raider, so it's going to move onto that square, which means when the raider's turn turns around, it's going to just run away. And she's got range 2. If I get a crit, I'll accidentally kill the raider though. I think she's just going to wait, because if I let things play out, then the raider is just going to run away, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, I wish you could delay your turn. Alright, Forge Warden's going to go, he's going to move on to here to protect his feathery friend, then end his turn, and then the Zombie Brigand activates. He's going to charge and attack. He's going to hit Forge Warden. 5, 6, 7, 8. Not good enough. Forge Warden takes a wound. Oh, I need to come back. Oh, I didn't do a challenge card. I remembered, but let me just apply that wound first. Challenge card. Oh, it's an ambush. Each hero rolls a d6. If they roll a 4 or lower, place a... That's the Zombie Brigand symbol in their zone. A d6, was it? d6. Let's see, so Nightfeather, because he was in the room first, that's a 2, so that would be a yes, which means the Lost Raider would disappear straight away anyway. Forge Warden, nope. Fire Soul, nope. So I'm just going to add an extra zombie on this tile, which means that Forge Warden's getting attacked twice. 6, 7, 8, 9. Not good enough, he took 2 wounds. That didn't work out very well at all. Fine. So then the Lost Raider would activate, but he's on a tile with undead, so he scarpers and runs away. Again, I think you get the 1 gold because he disappears from the marching order. Because it does just say he flees, right? Yeah, it says, sorry, it says defeat. So it isn't that he runs away, he literally is classed as defeated. Fair enough. Nightfeather will shank the zombie brigand. 10 with his bonuses is good enough because he needs 10. Did not crit, so that means he just gets a dodge. Fine, he'll take the dodge. And then chuck a throwing knife for 1 fate at the same zombie. Good enough. Needs a crit to kill. It rolled slightly off camera, I think, but it was a 5, which it does 2 wounds, and because he got a crit, he replenishes fate. One of the zombies gets stabbed in the head by a knife. Then the Rotting Brute, what do they follow? They are cautious. Why are they cautious? That's weird. They still want to attack the closest hero or move if they can't reach them. They only move 1 though. So, boop. And they can't do anything else. End of round. Do we get an echo token? Nope. Good enough. And we have to... I will shuffle the marching order. It feels unfair to the enemies if I don't, because I'm before them all. Plus, I guess you really should for the zombie, because the zombie brigands specifically move down. Alright, we've got the brute going first. There's karma for you. Forward Warden, Nightfeather, Fire Soul, zombie brigand. He's just going to move here. Does it say they charge? They don't actually charge, so they don't get a free attack when they move. So he's done for the turn. Forward Warden will strike. He doesn't have a buff or anything. He'll strike the zombie with his Mechanica Strike. 17. Is it a crit? Yes, it is. Which is only 1 wound for his strike, actually. Yeah, not good enough to kill. So what does the crit do different? Restores fate. His other attack, he'll spend a fate to do judgment on the brute, which is physical, so he's rolling at disadvantage. But if it hits, he'll roll a better damage die. So the worst result is 10, plus his bonus of 3 is 13, not good enough by 1. Well, fair enough. Nightfeather will... oh yeah, it's 1 fate spent. Nightfeather will also spend fate and chuck a throwing knife at the zombie. Hit. Crit. Dead. That's 1 more gold in the kitty. And then removed from the turn order for this round as well, which is good. So they're gone. And then Fire Soul, she's going to do her 1-2 combo. Ember followed by Fireball on the brute. She's using magic, so she rolls normal. Almost a crit. She crit, well, she did get a crit, sorry, I mean almost a crit on the Bardsung dice. A crit with Ember is a wound plus burn, so he's already dead when the turn ends, but she's going to fire, well actually, yeah, because it doesn't matter if she moves in right now. She missed with Fireball, not good enough. But end of turn, Ember burns the brute, and this brute does not have a flip side as we've already discussed. Does he give any gold when he dies? Yes, they give 1 gold. 1 gold, so we're up to 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, we're up to 8 gold. We can afford to replenish 1 thing. End of turn event. Nope, thank goodness. Now we need to make a decision though. The decision is, do I use a toolkit to take the secret passage or miss out on the treasure? The answer is I'm going to use a toolkit to get the secret passage because I want the loot. So that's what we're doing. So it always becomes a bit awkward to get a view of this end of the table, but we're getting there. So new round starts, Forward Warden goes. He is going 1-2 and then expending a toolkit to do an explore action there. Just flip one of the toolkits over. We're in a corridor, so we draw a room. It's one of the rare ones with a door. Now that's a little awkward because that means it's going to go that way. I'm not sure that will fit in enough to let me like go up the way in the table. I'm not sure what you do in that situation. Let's put it down and see what happens. There's also no combat. Alright, this is a little awkward, but I think if you position the card like I have done, there is another secret passage. So if I'm willing to use another toolkit, I can get that other treasure. and go towards the end of the board I'm supposed to be going to. Problem is that puts the door at the opposite side, which means it's useless to me. Either way, we have to draw a challenge card first. So before I forget anything else, you just have to take my word for it. I'm reading it. It's got a lot of text. Wounded Hobgoblins. Haven't we done this one? We did. I'm surprised this one didn't get pulled out of the deck. Place D4 corpse tokens. That's a full 4. As evenly as possible across the zones of a tile. If a hero moves on them, you do a TN10 charisma check. If they fail, it gets up, and you would fight a normal brigand, or I guess it would be a zombie brigand in this area. Maybe this did get removed and I just missed it. Let me check. Oh, you know what? It absolutely should have been removed. So I'm not going to do that one. I'll draw the next one. Yep, sorry. That one should have been removed. Because it makes no sense when there's zombies on this floor. Dead weight. Oh no, this is the follow-up. Mercy is a dead weight on your back and she's starting to mumble. Best stop and check on her. Read narrative entry 103. Well, I have a feeling that little Mercy is about to get a bullet in the head, so to speak. So, narrative 103, huh? Let's see how bad this is. 103. You gently lower Mercy to the ground and check on her. She offers you a sickly smile back, eyes slightly glazed over and brow wet with sweat. You glance at the bandage on her arm and are saddened to see it stained with yellow and red splotches. Please don't leave me here, she mumbles. You're faced with a choice. If you want to quietly end Mercy's suffering, read narrative event 98. If you still have hope and want to carry her again, read narrative entry 262. Don't tell anyone, but I'm going to read narrative entry 98. Look away, children. Yes, let's do that. You share a look between yourselves. None of you are hopeful. You're quickly looking down. You kneel and carry Mercy into the darkness so that others don't have to see. Her trusting smile makes you feel the most miserable wretch that's ever been born, but you manage to hold it together just barely. The deed takes moments and as painless for her as you can make it possibly. As you can possibly make it, rather. That wasn't even written poorly, that was just me being bad at English. When you return, no one can meet your gaze, and silence takes hold of the party, each alone with your thoughts. Each player suffers some symbol until you feel able to talk again. Return the deadweight card to the vault. What symbol is that? I'm going to have to look it up in the rulebook. It kind of looked like a lightning bolt. I'm guessing it's silence. Let's see here. Silence. This hero player can't speak or communicate with other players. Aha! For solo it doesn't matter. Hooray! We killed a little girl. Alright, carry on before Dwarden's turn. Moves there. Stops. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Easy round. An echo token does appear, but does not activate. And if it does activate, we're going to immediately fight because there's all connected corridors. I'm probably going to have to move the camera again, but a new round starts and Ford Warden is immediately doing an explore action. It's a corridor, and I think it'll be enough to take us out if it's a long one. Well, for one, it's going to have the treasure. It is another challenge card, but yeah, I think that'll take us out. So this is very annoying to try and get eyes on, but hopefully you can see that there isn't room to place another corridor or room. So I'm counting that as being both the treasure chest, because it went over the treasure chest, so you have to, and also where the stairs are out of here. Ford Warden is here. Oh, also we used another toolkit, so we only have one left. And we do need to do a final challenge before we're out of here. So let's do Disturbance. Sections of the ceiling are falling down, dislodged by the sound of your passage. During the end phase, each hero on this tile makes a TN9 action roll. For each hero that fails, suffer 1 damage. It's a dex roll. That's at the end of the turn, though. Ford Warden's other action. Oh, wait, no, he's done 2 because he didn't explore. Night Feather's getting out. 1, 2, 3, out. He's done. Fire Soul, 1, 2, 1, 2. She could technically get out as well, but I want her to have the loot, so I'm just going to top card the loot. Oop, get it in frame. Ooh, red gem, a garnet. This hero can reroll their first damage roll each turn. She'll slot that into her staff. Thank you very much. Because that means when she's doing Ember, she gets a reroll on it, which is pretty nice. Good. But that does mean the two of them need to do a roll. They're not going to die from it, but Fire Soul gets hit. Ford Warden. That would have been a 16. It was a 9 though. What was the check? Oh, it was fine. He passes. A new round begins, but first, Echo Roll. Nope. So a new turn begins, and they would just walk out. So we do have some post-game stuff to cover. One, the disturbance card we just did has a reward of 1 gold coin, so we've gotten that. That puts us at 9. Spending 7 of that 9 to replenish a toolkit, sadly. So we've got 2 left, but we're back up to 2 toolkits. I feel like that's important for situations like that. I'm going to spend, because each earn 1 XP, spending 5 XP on Fire Soul to upgrade Conflagration. So even on a miss it sets targets on fire now, so it's really good. The other 2 don't have enough to spend on anything. Now, Nightfeather can spend that Tome of War to learn a free skill. I want to think about that, so I'll tell you my decision next time. But between this mission and the next, there is a narrative to read. 298 before we go to 4F, which is again the same mission type, but there's 3 potential treasure on it. So 298. Here we go. 298. A strange sound halts you as you approach the next corner. It sounds half an anguished scream, half a horrific tearing sound. Cautiously you shutter your lantern and creep to the junction, peering around the stone. The sight before you sends a chill down your spine. A spindly creature protrudes from the wall, ungainly pulling itself free from the stone. Its body writhes unnaturally, shuddering from spasms and tics, and its skin seems to steal what the little light there is. Both of its heads snap around as it eventually drops to the ground, sniffing the air like a feral beast. Suddenly the blackened creature stops and scuttles away from where you stand, spindly limbs moving far too quickly and propelling it out of sight. They're just describing an enemy in Elden Ring. In the silence that follows, you don't want to believe your eyes. It seems that you are no longer the most dangerous thing that lurks in the darkness. Retrieve card N19 from the narrative vault. Okay, one moment. Alright, I found N19 and taken a look, and it's actually very interesting. It's updating the encounter table for the chapter. So I just bring it to bear here. Hopefully it will come into focus and show you. Again, you ignore the circle ones when you're playing with less than 4 heroes. But we still have to pay attention to... Well, actually, maybe the circles don't mean that here. Either way, I think it's saying like both these symbols, whether it's circle or not. That's Zombie Brigand. This is now the Raider symbol, which I think was more or less the same. The one that's different, though, is the most common symbol, I believe, which is this one here. It's a new enemy type, Shadows. And the Carrion Rats are still here as well. Wandering Monster is still the same, because the giant spider and Etter Cap, whatever it is, they were already there. But yeah, these shadow enemies, they're in here now. And we've encountered them earlier than if we would have had we gone the longer route, because you would have had to read that eventually. But 2 more missions would have been done first. Very interesting. So next time we're doing another Dell. It's the same type, but there is a new threat, and I have no idea how they work. So I guess we'll see that in the future. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for supporting the series. Hope you're having fun, and see you next time for more. Until then, ta-ta for now.